Is premarital love acceptable? Christian and Islamic interpretations. The question of whether premarital love is acceptable in Christianity and Islam involves a nuanced examination of both faiths' views on relationships, purity, and moral conduct before marriage. While both religions highly value marriage and regard it as the proper context for intimate relationships, the concept of love before marriage, including falling in love and forming emotional connections, is interpreted differently within each tradition. This essay explores how Christianity and Islam view premarital love, focusing on the boundaries they set for forming connections before marriage and the values they associate with such relationships. 1. Christian views on premarital love. Christianity places a high value on love and relationships, seeing them as part of God's design for humanity. However, traditional Christian teachings often stress that romantic love is most appropriate within the commitment of marriage. While the Bible does not explicitly prohibit falling in love before marriage, it emphasizes purity, self-control, and avoiding situations that may lead to sexual immorality. The teachings of the New Testament, especially those of Paul, encourage Christians to flee from sexual immorality, 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 18, and to honor God with their bodies and relationships. In many Christian communities, premarital love is seen as natural and often a step toward marriage. For example, falling in love and forming a connection with a partner before marriage is typically viewed positively as long as it leads to a committed, God-centered relationship. However, traditional Christian doctrine encourages believers to remain chaste before marriage, reserving physical intimacy solely for marriage. Many Christians practice courtship, a form of dating focused on intentionality and marriage, as a way to honor these teachings. Courtship often involves setting boundaries to avoid sexual temptation and emphasizing emotional and spiritual connection over physical intimacy. Some denominations and more conservative Christian communities may view premarital love with caution, fearing that it can lead to moral compromise or put believers in situations where they might be tempted to engage in premarital sexual activity. Nonetheless, the concept of love itself, including forming emotional connections, is not inherently discouraged. Rather, Christians are encouraged to pursue relationships that honor God and to approach love as a gift that, when channeled appropriately, can lead to a faithful, Christ-centered marriage. 2. Islamic views on premarital love. In Islam, love is seen as a natural human experience, and falling in love is not inherently forbidden. However, Islamic teachings place a strong emphasis on modesty, self-restraint, and the protection of moral integrity before marriage. The Quran and Hadith, the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, promote marriage as the proper context for romantic relationships and warn against situations that may lead to temptation or compromise one's faith. Islam emphasizes the importance of keeping relationships, halal, permissible, by maintaining physical and emotional boundaries before marriage. In Islam, the concept of love before marriage is acceptable if approached with the right intentions and respect for Islamic principles. For example, a person may develop feelings for another and, through proper channels, pursue marriage. The process of forming a connection often involves halal dating, or arranged meetings in the presence of family members or chaperones to ensure that the interaction remains within Islamic boundaries. Many Muslims turn to traditional practices like nikah, marriage, to formalize the relationship once they have found a suitable partner, and dating is viewed as a means to get to know each other while honoring religious values. While Islam acknowledges premarital love, it encourages believers to guard their emotions and interactions carefully. Romantic relationships without the intent or pursuit of marriage are discouraged, as they are seen as potentially leading to immorality or distracting from one's faith. Islam stresses that love, like other human experiences, should be directed in ways that align with one's spiritual commitments, encouraging Muslims to prioritize their faith and avoid attachments that may lead them away from God. 3. Differences in the Christian and Islamic approaches. Though both Christianity and Islam permit the concept of love before marriage, they approach it with different perspectives on boundaries and intentions. In Christianity, especially within more conservative circles, dating is often considered a pathway to marriage but should be conducted with respect for personal boundaries and purity. Christian teachings allow emotional connections but stress the importance of avoiding premarital sexual relationships. This has led to practices such as courtship and dating with intention, where individuals pursue relationships with the goal of a committed, lifelong marriage. Islam, on the other hand, discourages open dating and often views romantic relationships outside of marriage with caution. Islamic teachings encourage a structured approach to love, where feelings can be acknowledged but are channeled towards marriage through family involvement or other formal means. The primary focus is on safeguarding modesty and avoiding any actions that might lead to sinful behavior, which has led to practices such as chaperone meetings or halal dating, designed to ensure that couples remain within the boundaries of Islamic ethics. 4. Shared values in Christian and Islamic perspectives. Despite their differences, Christianity and Islam share certain values regarding premarital love. Both religions emphasize the importance of commitment, purity, and self-restraint in relationships. They view marriage as a sacred union that provides the appropriate environment for love and intimacy. Both also encourage their followers to form relationships with sincere intentions and to pursue love in a way that aligns with their spiritual beliefs. Moreover, both traditions caution against the risks associated with uncommitted romantic relationships, emphasizing that love should not lead to physical or emotional harm. They teach that love is more meaningful and fulfilling within the commitment of marriage, where couples can build a life together based on faith, mutual respect, and dedication. Conclusion: in both Christianity and Islam, premarital love is viewed as a powerful, potentially sacred emotion that, when directed toward marriage, can lead to a fulfilling and God-honoring relationship. However, each tradition encourages followers to navigate premarital relationships with caution, modesty, and respect for divine principles. Christianity allows for romantic connections with an emphasis on purity and intentional dating, while Islam emphasizes the importance of maintaining modesty and pursuing marriage as soon as possible once feelings of love are present. Ultimately, both faiths teach that love should lead to commitment, marriage, and a life lived in harmony with God's teachings.